All right, Rich, we're at it again.
Yep.
Super excited to have you on. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast and getting interviewed by us. All great things happening. So, for people who don't know who you are, which everybody does, but maybe a few don't, just introduce yourself. Just tell everybody what your position is in the city and a little bit more about yourself.
Right. So my name's Rich Walker. I'm the mayor, City of Parkland. I also own a business,
Yeah.
Bergen Sign Company. We've been in business. Well, the company started in 1918.
Wow.
I've owned it now with my business partner for just under 30 years.
Wow.
So I've been doing it for quite a long time. We do like retail storefronts, monument signs, stadium work, things
Big
like that.
signs.
Yeah, bigger, more, hard illuminated type signage.
Okay. Okay. So obviously you're a successful businessman. We're going to talk about leadership, but why the move to Parkland? Obviously, you're not from here,
Right.
so tell me what people I don't even know, but what got you to move and what got you to move to Parkland?
So my business partner and I, we had always had a desire to move to South Florida, and an opportunity presented itself in 2009,
Okay.
and we decided to purchase another company. So we moved, or I came down, and I was traveling back and forth. Obviously, my wife Catherine and I. At the time, we didn't have 5 kids. Now we have 5. But I was traveling back and forth, and as the company began to grow and just took more time, and instead of traveling, once or twice a week, then it became, 2 or 3 days a week. So it became a lot. So I was doing that for 3 or 4 years, and eventually my wife and I decided it was taking a toll, on the family itself.
Sure.
So I talked to my business partner, and then in 2014, we decided to move down here as a family. And looking around in different cities, Parkland always stuck out to us, mostly because of the schools.
Sure.
Again, having 5 children, private school is difficult. Not everybody can pay for private school for 5 kids, and Parkland has fantastic school
Sure.
system. The city obviously is amazing. So we really didn't look in many other places. We found a great place in Parkland Isles. We're still there, so we couldn't be happier.
That's great. I didn't know your sign company was that long, and I knew you had 5 kids.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
Yes.
So we share the love for Philadelphia, for sports. We do share that. What do you think of the Eagles' chances this year, heading maybe back to the Super Bowl? Do you think we have a chance?
It cannot be a better time to be a Philly fan. I mean, if the Phillies are back in the playoffs,
October.
so that's exciting. The Eagles are 3-0.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not super confident that they're going to go all the way. I drafted Jalen Hurts in all of my fantasy football teams. That's usually the death knell to anybody,
don't say that.
being on my team. But no, all kidding aside, they look fantastic. The run game is phenomenal. Defense is fantastic. It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, I will be honest. I'm a Philly fan, and I can die in peace because we've won a Super Bowl. People are like, "Oh, the Eagles lost last year,"
Right.
and I'm like, "Look, we got one already."
Yep.
I never thought that would happen because Philadelphia is not the most lucky city. I mean, we're good lately, but there's many years when I was a kid and I was seeing the Bulls kill the Sixers,
Yep.
and the Eagles get hammered and playoffs. I remember going to the Super Bowl and the Patriots did beat the Eagles
Right.
in Jacksonville, and I had to sit there and our flight wasn't until 6 in the morning the next day, and I had to go through the city of Jacksonville with all those Tom Brady fans.
Right.
So I remember that was crazy. So it was good that we won. I never went to the Super Bowl, but I did go to the parade afterwards.
Okay.
And I felt like I am a real Philadelphian by being born there. Another big thing being a Philadelphian, it's a question we always ask: Pats or Geno steaks?
Yeah, so both are fantastic, but I'm actually I prefer White House in Atlantic City. I haven't been there in a while, although you could get their what is it? What's where you buy online and they'll ship it to your house?
Oh, I've seen it like a drop ship or whatever.
Yeah, so you can order the subs.
I didn't know that.
And they taste. You would think the roll would be soggy and wouldn't taste so good. Comes out absolutely perfect.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But the cheesesteaks are out of this world. The bakery is 2 doors down. They only make the sub bowls just for White House. So White House is my preferred cheesesteak in anywhere in the world. But if I had to choose, I'd go with Pat's.
So to me, I like Pat's, but I'm a Jim's guy. So Jim's is on South Street,
Okay.
and they're onions. I love their onions.
Right.
So when we visit, which we're going up to the Eagles Dolphins game
Oh, nice.
next month. My
Okay.
brother's going. It's my 45th birthday, his 50th, and my cousin's going to meet us there, and we're taking our kids.
Very nice.
My son's never been to a football game, so I didn't want him to see his first game. No offense, here in Miami,
Right.
because I think it's a better experience up in Philly.
Well, and Lincoln Field is a lot better than the
Oh,
old
yeah.
Vet Stadium.
Well, that's true. I mean, I've been to Veteran Stadium
That's
too.
right.
It's
That's
terrible.
a different experience.
Terrible
altogether.
experience, but
Yeah.
just the tailgating,
Yes.
and I think he's going to have an amazing. I want him to be a Philadelphia fan,
And the weather will still be nice.
and I've taken him to. He's gone to the Sixers. He's seen the Phillies play. He has seen the Flyers play, and he's just never seen an Eagle game. So
There
I
you
think
go.
this will be a great opportunity. We're all excited. My
Good.
family's going to be there. So
That's going to be a fun
obviously-
game to watch too. The
Oh.
Dolphins, obviously, I'm a Eagles fan, but the Dolphins have been playing very well.
I hope we kill him.
Yeah. No, well, obviously, so do I. But
Yeah, I mean, South Floridians are like, there's not many people born in Florida. I know
Right.
that there are some people that are, but the Eagles are, I bleed green.
yes.
So getting to the point of when you became a resident, obviously you enrolled your kids in schools, you became a Parklander. Everybody starts being in love with the city
Yep.
and embracing our small town feel. It's
Yep.
another thing. I always call it when I tell people why they should move here, it's really the Mayberry of South Florida, but you're surrounded by the hustle and bustle of everything that's South Florida. You're 20, 30 minutes from the beach. You can go to Fort Lauderdale, Miami even, but I always feel like Parkland's an escape. So I feel like the residents here, we really have this close-knit community. You can bump into you or any
Yep.
other commissioner at an event or at Starbucks or Carmela or any other restaurant or business here. And
Yep.
I think you guys are approachable. I think that's what's great about the city. You can, be directly involved in what goes on by being a resident. So
Yep.
I think we are a small community and people can have accessibility to you and,
Yep.
and to other commissioners and whatever you guys are implementing. But I think that coming from that and being that person in that sphere, I mean, that's enough of a leadership of just taking care of 5 kids.
Right.
And I see your wife. I mean,
Well, I mean,
that's a superhero.
yeah, but my wife Catherine is fantastic. And when we first moved here, like we do everywhere, and with everything we do, we jump right in with both feet. She was on the PTO, and I was coaching sports. I got on the board of soccer. We want to be involved. Because we want to watch our kids grow. We want to meet their friends. We want to meet
Sure.
their friends' parents. So the more you have an opportunity to do that, the closer you can, bring people together, because, happy people breed
Yeah.
more happy people.
Yeah.
And, we just love doing that. Parkland was so inviting, and, we continue to always be those people. I still coach
Yeah.
sports. I love it. I'm still on the soccer board.
You basically live
Catherine's
there.
still, yeah. I mean, it's there's nothing more fun
Yeah.
than coaching your son, hanging out with his friends, meeting his parents. That's the thing I enjoy most is being out there on the field.
I just think logistics, you're like a logistical expert.
Yeah.
I see you're picking up this person, this kid, and then it's just amazing how you and your wife can logistically make it work. I mean, you have one daughter now in college, but
Right.
at one point you had 5 kids they're all
Yes.
involved. It's not
Yes.
like they're sitting home in front of a computer. Your
That's right.
kids are active.
All of them very active.
So at the point of this lifestyle that you're living, and most people, that's enough. You have plenty on your plate.
Right.
You are a leader in the community, because that's what a lot of people do. They come here to just be leaders in their own
Right.
small sphere with their families. Did it come to a point in time, what clicked that you wanted to be first a commissioner?
I think just my involvement really on the soccer board and just being out on the field day after day and just seeing some of the things that I didn't feel was being maintained, or some changes we could have made, and owning your own business, having 5 kids, being involved in everything, you always seem to have an opinion. So when you have an opinion, you need to tell somebody about those opinions. So seeing a lot of things that I felt Parkland could have done a bit different or better, I just felt like it was an opportunity for me to just offer more of
being a commissioner.
my time and my services. And it just, it kind of lucked out where Grace Solomon was the commissioner at the time. She decided not to run again. So it was a natural fit. There was an opening for somebody to take a hold of. And, thankfully I was elected by the residents, and
I remember.
yeah,
I remember we interviewed you, came on we were doing a show called Ask Michael Monday, and it was 100 episodes. And we went live every Monday at 5 p.m.
right,
And, Aton was just, we would just put together stuff every week. I mean, sometimes it was about real estate, sometimes it was just interviewing people, and
right,
we didn't know how it would go. And then all of a sudden, elections were happening, people wanted to get on the show, and I was seeing thousands and thousands of views on our lives.
right,
And I thought to myself, wow, we'll just do them live. It's easy to do them.
yeah,
And then, we didn't have this camera system. We didn't have a podcast room. And
right,
you came in and we're like sitting in the office with our iPhone, microphones. And,
right.
and it's crazy how far we've come. But
Oh.
your vision and your message then was no
This is
difference.
right. No, this is a legitimate studio.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have changed. And certainly you have. I mean, obviously you've grown and learned so much and implemented so much, into the city. And now becoming commissioner and the transition from commissioner to mayor, how did that happen? And why did you think you wanted to do that?
Well, obviously, we had a fantastic mayor at the time, and Christine Unchowski. She decided to run for the state legislature. So an opening, again came up,
Yeah,
and it was, you decide, do you stay doing what you're doing, or do you take the next step?
I remember
And again, I think it always comes back to who you are and what you want to do. And I always like to try to progress, so it just seemed natural to me to take the next step. I'm, relatively young family. So I'm going to
You are still
continue,
young.
right. I'm going to continue to stay involved. So again, it's just a natural step. I'm here. I'm going to be here. And I think to me, that was just the natural evolution.
So I remember when you ran for mayor, it was during COVID times.
Mhm.
And again, we had interviewed different candidates running when you ran for commissioner. And all of a sudden, it's hard to campaign. I mean, there was no
Right.
events. Everything was shut down, really.
Yes.
Everybody was very nervous. So, it naturally happened. I remember when Tracy McQueen was helping you, she's like, I
Yeah.
think you should interview. And we talked about it. I said, well, let's try to interview everybody.
Right.
So I remember interviewing. And I was just sitting there, with my jacket and my shirt, but my shorts,
Right.
the whole Zooms.
Yes.
And we put that together, and because there was a lot of people were running for different positions at the
Right.
time. And I remember we interviewed everybody, and I thought it was a great opportunity for people to get their voices. We had so many people
Yeah.
that came on that, and it was amazing. I mean, I remember that and it was no different technology. I mean, we had
Right.
Zoom. That was it.
Yeah. No, I think it was great. I mean, you took advantage of an opportunity, which I think really helped the community.
Yeah.
You
At
know,
that
'cause
time.
at that time, well, even at any time, because there's not a lot of opportunities for, locally elected municipal
Sure.
officials to have their voices heard or have an opportunity to engage with residents outside of their circle. And that gave them that exact opportunity, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I just remember that. And then when you ran for mayor, being a business person, because we're in business, we help people.
Yeah.
I like to interview business owners because it inspires us, inspires the people that we do business with. But I like to learn from it. That's something, everything that's done, people that are in positions of change are typically leaders. And I remember watching your campaign and seeing how you marketed yourself, because you're this guy that anybody can approach. You see him at the fields,
Right.
but the way that it was marketed, who helped you do that? How did that all come together? Because I was getting anywhere on social, any,
Right.
little things in the mail at that time, your website, anything you could contact you. And
Yeah.
during a time when you really could not be belly to belly with your mayor.
Right.
And that's what's great about our city, is that you can do that now. That's why
Right.
I think it's great in Parkland. I tell people you can actually come here and you can be interacting with everybody.
Right.
You have a voice.
Yes.
And I think that's unique. And at that time, nobody could have a real belly to belly voice because of COVID.
Right.
So at that time, how that challenge alone, I remember we talked about it, for all the commission people running for the commission, it was tough to get in front of people
Right.
especially new candidates. I mean, we
Yes.
knew who you were already on the commission, but tell us how that business mindset of being a leader, you implemented into, action and getting your message across, because it was a close race, and
Yeah.
I really think that the exposure of your message was how you won. I mean, you everybody loved your message. I just think the way that you were able to communicate it
Right.
in that manner, both online, in social, and in print, it knocked it out of the park.
Yep. I mean, a lot of it, it's natural. You know, we love my wife and I and our family. We love being in Parkland. We love it, and it's fact. It's not something we talk about.
You're
And
authentic.
and we show people we want to do it. We volunteer for everything. We
Yeah.
find people to volunteer for everything. Our kids are involved in everything because we want to be. We want to be involved with the community, and we want the community to engage with us, individually, with us as a family. Those are the things that's important. That's what makes Parkland separate from other communities, because it's a genuine thing. And it's not just me. There's many, many other families that feel the same way, that want to do the same types of things. Not everybody wants to be out front in the limelight. A lot of people like to be, behind the scenes and have their voices heard. And that's great, because those people are just as helpful as anybody else, like Tracy McQueen,
Yeah.
Melissa Sackman,
Yeah.
some of those
They're
people.
behind closed
I mean,
doors.
and they hold
Yeah.
me together. We talk about everything. I bounce ideas off of them. They give ideas off to me. So it's a great team that we have, and it's a wonderful experience. I can't have, it's about as much fun as I think I could possibly have.
I just I'm amazed still to this day that you can handle all this and have all those kids.
Well, it's Catherine, my wife, Catherine.
So is she really the mayor of Parkland?
She's the
the
best.
mayoress.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
she's the first lady of Parkland.
That's right. I mean, she does.
I don't know how
everything.
you both do it.
Yeah.
We have one child and he's 16, and
Right.
I don't know how you guys do it, because your kids are active kids.
Yeah.
They're not sitting at home, where some of them are just hanging out in front of a computer or a phone.
Well, when everybody says, if you love something, it's easy, right? So it's not, we love being married, we love having a family, we love living in Parkland. Everything else is easy, because you want to wake up in the morning and start doing, like, whatever it is you're doing. You just want to get out there and
You're already there.
do it.
Yeah. I mean, you're at the field.
That's right.
I mean, I remember
Yeah.
this when you ran, because people are like, you're approachable. You're
Yeah.
there, and you're already there. So
Well,
I think it was a great campaign. I think the leadership role that you play now and you played then, it's totally made everything so much better. There's so many things getting done. The city's growing. But obviously, I keep saying the leader. What do you define a leader as?
I mean, there's a lot of things a leader. For me, a leader is just that, is accessibility. The more I interact with residents or businesses or whoever, the more effective I can be, because every interaction I have with a resident or a business owner gives me knowledge to know what's good and what's bad. And then it's up to me to analyze those things and then talk to staff to see what we can get accomplished to make things a little bit better, a little bit easier. That's, to me, the most important thing is that engagement and the ability to listen. I'm not a huge talker. Obviously, I'm out there talking, but I want to hear. I want to hear what people have to say, so that I can just kind of just absorb what's going on, and then
change.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think our city's grown and it's run very well, and
Yeah.
you guys have done a great job. You have, an amazing commissioner, that you have to lean on.
Our commission right now could not be any better. There's no egos.
Yeah.
Everybody's up there for the right reasons, to try to accomplish the right things.
And smart minds.
We have amazing city staff. Our city manager. Right now,
it's cohesive.
Everything is cooking.
It's great.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the future of Parkland? What would be your 5 to 10 years if you could, have a crystal ball and you could actually, be the genie and rub it and say, this is what's going to happen? What would you want to see in the next 5, 10 years?
Right now we're headed in the right direction. To me, there's, some people will like, some people won't like, but, I am not afraid to tell people what I'm hearing. When I talk, I'm typically telling people what I'm hearing other residents say. And Parkland is perfect. One of the things we're missing is a gathering place where residents can get together and do different things outside of the fields, outside of the sports.
Sure.
Whether it's get some ice cream, get something to eat, listen to some music, walk around, some light shopping, something that, again, everything revolves around the residents
Sure.
and how we can get people together to build those bonds and make those friendships. And that's the one piece
We're
that
missing.
Parkland's missing because, we have some 55 plus communities. We have people who maybe they're empty nesters and they still want to stay here because Parkland's amazing. What kind of things do we have for them that they can do to entertain themselves and again get together and be a community? That's the most important thing in my mind, is how do we keep Parkland together? Because people talk about a small town. What is a small town? Everybody's going to give you a different
Sure,
description.
of course.
A small town doesn't necessarily mean 5,000 residents, no traffic lights.
Yeah,
A small town is a feeling,
that's true.
and it's a community that's together, and it's a community that's focused on the same types of things and that wants to be around one another. And that the Heron Bay purchase is an opportunity that we have to control exactly what comes out of that.
And we're going to go into this obviously at the event. You're going to talk
Sure.
a lot about this. This is controversial. You're right. Some
Yeah.
some residents support it. Some residents don't. Maybe residents that's first started, been here for 30 years, their vision could be different.
Right.
So I see both sides, and but you're right. I mean, you live in Parkland. Besides the fields and the parks and the recreation stuff, we typically go out east, or I go to Coral Springs. I mean, there's not a ton of, you can only go have a Carmela Starbucks, or Starbucks, or
Right.
go to the local restaurants here. I can't
Right.
go every night. So I do understand the need to have a common place, and obviously I think it's good that the city bought the property, and I think it's obviously a lot of it being a park and a memorial site for the shooting, and the space. I think people would the consensus would be, at least you have some sort of control, so it doesn't get in the wrong hands. Or
We have
Yeah.
total control.
Yeah, that's what's great.
Because we own it. So we do have, again, we have total control, and we have a commission that wants to listen and wants to hear what residents say. Not everybody's going to be happy, which means it's going to end up being right.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle. Every good deal, both parties cannot be 100% happy.
And I think the residents that come to our event, I mean, right now it's elevateparkland.com. Please come. It's, we have over 100, I think, in 15, 20 people that have registered already, and we're still weeks away. And honestly, it is an event for people to ask these questions. And I want people to have the ability to speak and voice their opinion and hear what you and other leaders have to say. I mean, we have other great leaders in the city, Michael Udine, former Parkland mayor, commissioner in Broward County. I mean, these are good people in one room that are going to be able to articulate visions that are positive, as you said, for all residents. Not everybody's going to be 100% in agreement, but I do feel that land would be done, would be purchased and used in a capacity that was just for one's own good.
Right.
And this is at least the city's own, at least you have the opportunity. So
Exactly.
I think we have to look at it first and saying the city at least they're asking us for our opinions.
Exactly.
That's what this event is. It's giving information to you, to other members and leaders that can actually take and learn stuff. So I agree. I mean, I think we'll get into it a lot more at the event. So I do agree with you and see the Parkland future. I do believe you want to keep it a small feel. I think that's what's great about Parkland.
Right.
But all things are going to change. And I mean, the Hendricks Farm eventually will be sold. That's going to change Parkland forever.
Right.
Hope the city buys that too.
Right. Yeah.
That would be a big change.
I don't know. I don't know if the city will be able to go that far.
That's expensive.
But who knows? I mean, look, the purchase we made, with Heron Bay, we're going to be whole and then some. So while it was,
you didn't buy it as a business decision.
Of
You
course
bought it
not.
as a city decision.
Correct.
And I think the residents should understand that.
Right.
Even disagreement, we've all come together to say we hope that we can get the best out of it. And whatever happens, the consensus will be that the intention was to make it about the city.
Correct.
And I think everybody agrees on that.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. Really good. And we'll talk more about that. That'll be a hot topic. Pine Tree Estates roads. I'm glad that's coming together. I saw that. We'll get into all that. And obviously that's what the event's going to be. Why do you think people should come to the event to Elevate Parkland?
I think it's, again, one of the best things about Parkland is the opportunity to get together with local leaders, whether it's a local elected leader, whether it's a local business leader, whoever it is, the opportunity to get together and talk to one another, bounce ideas off of, learn from one another. That's what makes Parkland a stronger community than most, because we have events like that, and there's always opportunities for us to get together
And
and
learn.
and learn.
Yeah, I think you're each going to speak, and then we're going to have a little round table at the end where people can ask their questions. Everything's going to be organized well, of course, but I feel that people who are going to come to the event to hear some of the visions, and they'll have their opinions, but I do feel that it will be all positive in the sense that we're moving and progressing in the right direction. Our city's growing. We're not going to stop that. Building's going on.
Right.
So there's tons of projects now, and there'll be lots of projects in the future,
Yeah.
and we can't stop that. But if we have some way of controlling and giving the voices to the public,
And that's my job.
yeah,
And it's my job to make sure I'm listening to the residents and not just saying this is what I want to do,
yeah.
because that's not it.
Well,
So
that's what the land would have been. If
Yeah.
it would have been a business mindset,
right.
totally, and that's for their best interest, not the city's best interest.
Correct.
So, what will you be discussing at the Elevate Parkland event?
So we're going to talk about some of the great projects we have coming up, which is obviously the Heron Bay. We have Locks Road. We have Wedge Preserve Park, which is a new
Yeah.
park that we're building. There's Hillsborough lighting project that we have going on. So we got a lot of great projects that we're working on. So we're going to update the residents on what those projects are, what phase they're at, and what kind of input that they can have, in the different phase that each
Sure.
project is on.
Okay, so we got through the tough stuff, Rich.
Yep.
Now we're at the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Now these are the most important questions.
Right.
Favorite dinner spot?
I love Malbec. Malbec Grill.
Malbec. Oh, wow.
Their skirt steak is out of this world. And the chimichurri.
You can't go there every week with 5 kids, though.
No, you can't. But my boys do love steak.
Oh,
So
I like the one with the gold wrap. And
Yes,
oh
yes.
gosh, it's addictive. Best place for desserts?
You mentioned it. You mentioned it earlier when we were chit chatting a little bit. Glick Gelato is a
It's the most
fantastic.
underrated dessert spot.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to Glick Gelato, people should go to Glick Gelato. I mean, I'm in West Park and we're in Parkland Golf, and I would say if that business was over here, because obviously it's east,
Right.
and I think maybe it doesn't get the attention sometimes, but I literally believe it's like. I mean, we've done events there. We've had,
Right.
or we've done videos showing how they make it. I
Right.
mean, you should go to Glick Gelato. It's one of the
And the
the
ambiance.
best.
The ambiance is fantastic with the puppets hanging from the
Oh.
ceiling and all the decorations and everything.
And they're Heron Bay residents that own it. Greatest people. You should go there.
Yep.
It's fantastic. We're lucky to have that.
Big
And
fan.
I just wish more people would go because it's a great spot. It's been there for multiple years. Best breakfast spot.
Parkland Bagels. I was just there this morning. I love Adam and
Got your
Holly. So
breakfast,
yeah.
too. Yeah, we love them too. Starbucks or Carmela? Is that a rhetorical question? I don't know.
Carmela's is what I prefer.
Of course.
Not just because it's local, but Starbucks is.
I just like it because I can relax more.
Yeah.
Then they have a better ambiance. They
Yes.
extended the space outside now.
Yes. Yeah. I
And,
love the patio out
another
there.
business thing. There's like 7 of those, right? Or 6
Yeah.
or 7 Carmelas.
They have grown.
And Renair. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember when we first interviewed him, and now they've taken it off. They have
Yep.
the whole business is taken off. That's
Yes.
another leader we want to bring on. And I remember we interviewed him in the beginning. He was very nervous.
Yes, he's great.
But I mean, that is a true successful business that
Yep.
I think Parkland would be different without Carmela.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you walk in there, you always meet somebody.
Everybody's there.
that's
That's
right.
another thing about living in Parkland.
Yep.
I always tell people if they want to learn about Parkland, go to Pine Trails Park, take your kid there, and go stop and have a treat at Carmela.
Right.
And if you're not sold, I don't know where you're going to move to.
Exactly.
Right? I
Yep,
mean,
for sure.
it's crazy to say that some simple, luxury delicacies that we
Yes.
have in the city. Favorite holiday as we get into holiday season.
We're coming up to which is Halloween.
Halloween's your
yeah.
favorite.
I love Halloween.
Really?
I do like to dress.
Costu-
I
you're-
do wear costumes, and I love candy. Weakness I have
Really?
is
What's your candy?
candy. I like all candy. Again, that's a big weakness that I have. But Reese's peanut butter cups and Twizzlers.
Wow,
They
okay.
really don't go well together. You got to pick one or the other. So Friday you'll have Reese's peanut butter cups, and Saturday you have Twizzlers.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite Holiday I would say is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
love
one.
it. It's a holiday about family, but it's an eating holiday.
Yes,
It's a great holiday. I love pumpkin pie.
Thanksgiving is my holiday. I usually will cook the turkey and all
You
the
cook the
sides.
turkey.
So Thanksgiving Day is my day
It's your day.
to be in the
And when you
kitchen.
cook it, are you making? You're not taking it outside. You're doing it right in
In the oven,
in the oven.
the old fashioned way. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I get up in the morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And
And
this is a whole day's project.
the kids will help a little bit and
Gotta get them to help.
start,
How many
cheese and
turkeys do you need?
pepperoni in the
Like 2
morning.
or 3 for
No,
that
we
whole
just
family?
do one. We'll do a turkey. We'll do a ham,
Okay.
lots of stuffing,
All right.
lots of sides.
Wow. Yeah, it must be a lot because you got to
Yes.
feed a lot of people.
Yes.
So fill in the blank. The whole popularity with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is.
I guess nowadays the kids would say fire.
Yeah,
What-
fire. Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I tell you, there's not someone on the planet at this moment that has a higher popularity level than Taylor Swift.
Or the person dating her.
Right. Yes, right.
We see the football players dating
Yes.
her, and his jersey sales have gone up because
Yes.
of it. Another question: favorite movie of all time?
I would say it's Braveheart.
Braveheart. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big medieval
I didn't know that about you.
medieval fan. Like when they have medieval times.
Sure, you go to those things.
Of course.
Those are. I've been to those. Those crazy.
So my office, I have a brick wall. It's actually the L. I have dozens of swords and axes and battle
This is in
axes.
your office.
Yeah.
We're gonna next interview is gonna have to
Yeah.
be at your office.
It's a sight.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
you're learning things about you we never knew. You're a medieval times guy.
That's right.
Maybe
Yeah.
you should dress up like Braveheart for Halloween.
I did that one year.
Really?
I was a knight. I got the real sword and everything. Yeah.
I mean, I want to see the face paint. I want to see the
Right.
Mel Gibson running through.
Oh,
with
during
your-
the battle.
Yeah, I want
Yes,
the
that's
battle
right.
scene. I want you to run across
Right.
when we're sponsoring the Halloween event. I want to
There
see
you
you run right
Yes.
across. Now that would be a sight to see. My favorite movie is Rocky.
Rocky.
I love the
mean,
Rockies.
You can't go wrong
I
with
mean,
Rocky. Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Yep.
made for me.
Yes.
Me for us. Climb a mountain or jump from a plane.
Well, I'm afraid of heights, so
Me
I'm
too.
absolutely not jumping from a plane.
So you would climb a mountain.
I would
You just
have.
wouldn't look down.
I would have no other choice.
Okay. Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
It's Michael Jordan.
Great.
Without,
I mean, the younger people will say that we're crazy. Cats or dogs?
Actually, I'm a cat fan.
Really?
Although I have two.
Stephanie will love you.
Yeah, I have 2 dogs, but I've always had cats.
How many cats do you have?
I don't have any right at the moment.
So you have 2 dogs and 5 children.
Well, 4.
Well, one
at
away to
home
college.
and 1 in Delaware.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to say I don't have 5 kids because I still do.
Oh yeah,
although
you're
Delaney's
paying for 5.
Although Delaney's turning 20, I don't know. She might
She's
not.
turning
She's
20.
She's not a
Do you-
kid anymore.
How do you feel that your daughter's turning 20?
I
Does that make you feel older at all?
I don't feel older.
You don't.
No, I'm
Age
still.
is just a number, right?
Hey,
I mean, with
I'm
5
out,
kids,
I'm
it
out
doesn't-
having fun.
Yeah,
Hayes is
yeah.
9, so I'm still.
Yeah, you got the young
I'm still
kid.
having fun.
Gotcha. So obviously the leadership thing. What would you say the best habit you have
The best habit.
every day? Like you get up. What's the thing that's you?
I get up every morning,
What time?
5:30, 6 o'clock, give
What
or
do you do?
take. I go to gym.
Really?
Yeah, I go to gym 5, 6 days a week.
5:30.
6 o'clock I go.
So
Yeah.
you have a 6 a.m. class.
No, right now I used to work out. Andrea and Neil, don't get mad. I used to go to CrossFit, but
okay, I go to CrossFit. I go to
yeah.
a different CrossFit.
I haven't been to CrossFit in a while. I do miss it. But
You
I go to
hurt?
my community gym.
Oh, so you
No,
go to
it's
the Parkland
it's
gym.
just easy. I
Yes.
got the
'Cause
same
you have 5 kids.
I got the same 3 people that I see every day.
Yeah.
So we've now, developed a
Workout.
friendship, and it's like, hey, let's go do our thing.
I think I want to stop and say I think people that have that habit of getting up early, working out, are the most successful people. It's like statistically proven. Like I read this thing: if you make your own bed in the morning, the chances of your success go up exponentially. So getting up early, making your bed, and going to work out, right then and there, your chances of success with 10% of your day or 15% of
Right.
your day are totally expedited because of those things.
Yeah, and
Do you when did you
no.
start doing that? Have you always got up at 5:30?
Yeah, I've always
Well, you have to with kids.
always been an early riser. I mean, even in college and high school, I've always been an early riser. And I like to exercise.
It's great.
Sometimes more or less than sometimes I just go for a little bit to just kind of loosen up and get the blood flowing.
Get away from the family for a couple of minutes. Too.
Yeah. Well, they're still sleeping.
It's true.
Likely they're still
when
sleeping.
you come home, they're
That's
still
right.
sleeping, right? If you're leaving at 5:30
Right.
or so. Well, I appreciate you coming on our show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Always.
This is awesome.
Yep.
This is not our first, and it
Right.
won't be our last. So
Right.
obviously, we want to make sure that people come to our event to hear your vision and continue to be approachable person you are. I think that's what's great about you. You lead by example, and you're honest, and I think that's what people need in our city right now. I think in the country.
Right.
But I do feel Parkland is special because of that, and has a lot to do with the Walker family.
Yeah,
So,
no, I appreciate
and
that.
your wife's awesome. I mean, we're a part of SOS, Children's. She's on. People don't realize that she's doing so much too. I mean, you take a lot of the credit, but she's right there.
I would not be half as far as I am if I didn't have her. For
I
sure.
agree. She's definitely made.
Sometimes I wonder, maybe she's more lucky than I am, or I'm more lucky than her. I don't know.
Happy wife, happy life. You're more lucky. You're luckier because you have her.
That's right.
She's lucky to have you. Please,
no question.
We know where we stand. So, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Again, we're gonna obviously we have our event, Elevate Parkland, October 19th, 5:30 to 8:30. And please come out. We're gonna have it where we're gonna have some food and drinks, and people are gonna be able to walk around and kind of rub shoulders a little bit, and then obviously hear from you and other great speakers, and then have a round table that people can talk and ask some questions. And I think it's going to be a great event. I think a lot of people will leave with a lot of information on things they maybe didn't know about what the city's doing, and maybe a little bit more about you, because I've learned a lot today, and I've interviewed you multiple times. So thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
And again, elevateparkland.com. See Rich live and in person, October 19th, 5:30 to 8:30. Thank you so much.